All right, so here's where we left off in the last video there. So we had the Sudoku board, the digits at the bottom here with hover on them, did a little bit of styling with CSS, got the HTML elements in there. Now let's get some functionality going so that when you click on these, we can show a cross on there and get the keyboard input and validate that against the solution array. And all that kind of neat stuff. So let's, where should we start here? Let's get to the functionality for when you click on a tile. So let's call that function click tile. And let's just make sure that works first. So we're going to show the tile's ID. I'm going to add this function to where we're initializing that board. So let's say tile add event listener. I'm going to listen for a click. And when you give that click, it's going to run this function here, and we should basically then hopefully be able to get the coordinates. So these are the coordinates we've put in before in the ID of the div, if you guys remember. So we got the row and the column of wherever we click. So row 0, column 1, and so on. So now when we take that, we want to split those out by taking that dash. Okay, so we're going to, let's just have a variable here, clicked tile, and set that to this. And then, how do we get the coordinates? I would create a function to give us that, because we're going to need that over and over again. So let's just parse so get coordinates, and we'll get the tile ID, and let's just do coordinates equals tile ID split. We're going to split it by the dash, and we're going to say let the row be parse integer, the coordinates 0 position of it, the column parse int coordinates first position there, return R and C. Okay, so then let's call that up here. I'm going to say let R and C be the coordinates of the clicked tile, and then do a let's make some more space here. Okay, let's do a for loop, and I less than or equal to 80 in this case. Okay. So let current tile be document get element by ID. So we're going to get the board and get all the child nodes. So iterate through them, and then get the coordinates of each one of those. So we're going to say rtemp, ctemp, get coordinates, current tile, ID. Okay, and then let's take the, so look for the row and the column wherever you click, and highlight the background of those to do that cross. So if rtemp equals R, or ctemp equals C, So if the one that we're iterating through matches the same, then current tile, style, background color, and we're going to set that to say F5, 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 so like a light gray. Otherwise, we're going to set it to nothing. Okay, so far, that should give us this cross here. So when we're clicking on that, we get the horizontal and the vertical highlight there. Okay, and then let's add, let's highlight the numbers as well. So like when we click on 2, we should see every 2 on the board highlighted. So if clicked tile inner text is different than blank, and current tile inner text matches the clicked tile, clicked tile inner text, then let's set the style background color to, we're going to do like 909 BD3. It's kind of like a bluish. Let's try that out. Okay, so then when we click on this number, it iterates through and looks for every other div that also contains that number and highlights that blue. And at the same time, we get this nice little gray, light gray background just to look at the same column and the same row, make it easy for the player. Okay, so we got that. Now let's get the keyboard input. I think would be the next thing here. So after we have that, let's do a global listener on key press, and let's do arrow. Okay. So let's first console log. Event key is going to be the input. So when we are in here and we're pressing a key, we're listening for that right there. We want to take that, and we only want to keep the numbers, not the letters. And we also want to make sure that the state of the game is not, game over, like where we're inside of the current playing state. So let's get rid of. Actually, let's comment it out. We might need it later here. So we're going to say if game over is false, and also if there's a tile selected, because we don't want to put an input if we don't know where. So we're going to make sure that the tile is selected. See, when we click on the tile, it will set this global tile selected variable to that. So we're going to say if tile selected, and inside here we want to look through for just numbers. So now there's a few different ways you could do this. I don't know. Let's just keep it simple. So we'll just say like if the event key, which is here, so if this matches any of these numbers here, so we'll say this string here, index of event key is different than -1. So this is basically like a search. So you're trying to see if you have if you can find this event key inside of this string. So if you cannot find it, then it will be -1. So if we can find the key, so the number inside here, then it will have an index location. So basically we want to look for if it's not -1. So we can test that out real quick. So put that in here. If we enter numbers, you can see them here. Okay, so get rid of this guy, and then we'll say num selected event key. So the number that we are currently selecting as input is equal to the event key. And we want to change the tile. So let's create a change tile. Change tile. Let's get a change tile function in here. Okay, so inside of that, we have to do a bunch of things. Why do I keep putting time? It'd be cool if we can actually change the time. Okay, so if number selected, and inside of that we'll say if tile selected. So we want to make sure that we have a number and we have a tile selected so that we can actually change that tile. So if tile selected inner text is different than blank, then return. And then let's make this nice. Okay, let's get the coordinates of it again. Get coordinates of the tile selected ID. Okay, so let's so far see where we're at. So coordinates should be R and C. Console log the number input will be the num selected that we're pressing on the keyboard. And let's add another one for the solution value is. So remember we have the array that we are where is it here? So yeah, so we have the board array is our solution array, and our starting board array is the one with the 20 numbers. So we want to double check the board array to see if the number that we're entering in is correct. So let's just make sure that we have that so far. So board array R and C. So let's see what we have so far here. Oh, and we have to style the 3x3 grid as well. Okay, so if we click on one of these and we enter in a number, so I've entered in 5. So we get the coordinates of this. The number input, I typed in 5, and the solution value that it's supposed to be from the array is 6. So let's check against that solution array. So if board array, which is our solution array, RC, so the value inside is the same as the number selected. So let's just keep track of this. So the number matches the solution array, and then put an else here. Number is wrong. Number input is wrong. Okay, so let's say, okay, so tile selected inner text. We want to enter in. Okay, so let's try it again. So if we go in here and say there should be an 8 here somewhere. Okay, so there you go. If we put it in here, it's wrong, so it's not going to add that number. Now let's add some colors and stuff to it too. So say tile selected, style, color, just say blue. Let's style the sorry, that's bugging me a little bit here. So let's style the 3x3 grid. Now there's a few ways you could do that as well. I don't want to crowd the JavaScript there, so I'm just gonna do it through the CSS up top here. So we're just gonna add to the tile the nth child type rules. So let's just say tile nth child nth child. Okay, so every third we're going to add border right, just 1 pixel, solid black. Then we're going to add tile nth child n 19, and nth child n 27. Okay, and also tile nth child n 46. Okay, and then nth child n 54. Okay, and then nth child 73. Nth child 81. Okay, so all those will be border bottom we'll do 2 pixel. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Didn't do it right. Whoops. Okay, let's see what that looks like there. Okay, we have to make the board, add two pixels here, make it look better. There we go. Okay, so let's keep going. So we were here. Okay, so we want to keep track of how many tiles we have solved so far to know if we have finished the game already. So let's say let total or actually sorry currently solved tiles. Let's set that to 0, and then we're going to iterate through all of the tiles. Okay, and we're going to say let current tile be document get element by ID. That will be the board. Okay, and grab the child nodes and iterate through them. So if current tile inner text is different than blank, we're going to increase the currently solved tiles by 1. Okay, and then we're going to add the background color to okay, we want to add the background color just like we did here. Yeah, see, when we add the number, we want to make sure that we update the background color for all matching 6s in this case here. So similar like we did before, let's add let total found and set that up to 0 as well, and look for those. So let's get the coordinates rtemp ctemp, get coordinates, current tile. Okay, so if tile selected inner text is different than blank, and current tile inner text is tile selected inner text, current tile, style, background color. I'm gonna set that to that same color that we used before. I'm gonna update the total found. Okay. So far then, let's add a 6. There we go. So now we're updating the background color for all the same numbers, same tiles. Okay, after that, let's make sure that if we have found all 9, then we gray out the number at the bottom here, just to keep track of it. So if total found equals 9, then let's get total, get element by ID. So the element by ID of this was just simply the number. So then we want to find that and set the color to like a light gray. Okay. Right. So after that, if we have found all of the tiles, like I said, the currently solved tiles, then the game is finished. So if currently solved tiles equals 81, then game is finished. Yay. So game over. Let's just do a set timeout. Set timeout. I'm gonna do a little alert function. Alert U1. Okay. And that's after 100 milliseconds. Okay. Let's see if we have any errors. No? Okay. So then basically that's what we have. So we have sorry, less than or equal to 80. Okay, there we go. Okay, so far we have, there we go. Okay, that all works. Okay, so far we have the keyboard input there triggered. Now if the number is wrong, then let's say get element by ID, number selected. So we just want to flash this red just to show that that's an error. So we're going to get the number selected again, and we're going to flash the background color red. And set it back quickly with, whoops, I don't like that function. Get that again, get element by ID, number selected, style, background color to nothing, and we're going to do that for 200 milliseconds. So then what that means is, so if we put see that if that's wrong, then it kind of flashes there just a tiny bit. Okay, so let's increase the number of errors, which I believe I have. Yeah, so errors, we start with 0, so let's increase the amount of errors there. And let's update that. So we have that errors HTML element here. So this guy here, right there, we want to update that. Okay, so update, get element by ID, get the errors ID, and set the inner text of that to mistakes. It will be errors, and that out of 5. So I'm going to keep track of that. Now, here's what's going to happen when you make mistakes. So I'm just deliberately making mistakes here. This is going to keep going up. So we want to stop it at 5 and say that's game over. So let's add an if. So if errors equals 5. Oops. So too many game over. Game over dialog. We have to initialize that. And then we're going to show that dialog. Game over equals true. So this game over dialog, we want to set that up here. And that's from get element by ID. It'll be the same one here. So that's this guy here. We want to show that dialog after we've made 5 errors. So let's try that quick. So deliberately gonna make some errors here. Okay, so that's game over, and that's it. So you shouldn't be able to enter any more numbers after that, because we're always looking for the game over state, which we have set to true now. Okay, now let's also do that for the for when we click on these. So right now we only have the keyboard input. Let's add make this nice and tidy here. Let's add another one for the numeric keypad here. So we have to add an event listener to where we are generating those numbers. So where did I do that? I generate digits. Okay, so we want to add an event listener to the generate. Okay, so just before we append the child there, we're going to add an event listener to it. Listen for click, and redirect that to select number. Let's see how that works. So when we enter the number, so here's the number. That's wrong. Game over. Let's try it again. So let's add a 3 here. Okay, should be a 3 there. Yeah, so that's so far what we have. We have keyboard input as well, or we can use these guys here. So most of that functionality is there. Okay, so I'll see you guys next video.